Back in 1994, a simple disk, as you can see above, held more pages than what is pictured below Bill Gates here. Hello everyone, my name is Liam Kewen, and today I'll be discussing Google Drive with you. I am an OIT representative here at St. Edward's University, and as many of you may know, we are switching over to Google soon from Zimbra. So, in today's digital age, the constant question is, where do we put things? Everyone's looking for storage, and you can see this from how we've changed the size of a physical file drive. We used to have floppy disks, then disks, USBs, and now into micro USBs and even SD cards. We have tons of different physical file formats and physical drives to save things in, right? However, they're really inconvenient for a student who is constantly accessing different computers, different browsers, and sometimes our computers crash and they break or they die and we're lost and we don't know where our files are. We don't know how to rewrite this paper that's due at midnight when it's 10, the night it's due. You can see here from the simple infographic that you can store quite a bit of information on a single gigabyte of virtual data. And that's what Google Drive is. Google Drive is a cloud-based storage system that allows you to access it from any device, any browser, around the globe, at any time. As if you can connect to the internet, you can connect to Drive. This leads us into the next part of our discussion today, where I'll compare Google Drive to a few of its competitors. Now, there are a lot of tiers for these competitors and their offerings, how much it costs, and how much you get out of it. However, I will simply be discussing the first tier of each of the services, as they are the most applicable to students. So first we'll start with Box, which is what we currently use here at the university. Now I'm going to address Box from a personal standpoint, not a student standpoint. It's very important that I make that distinction. So first, let's start off. How much space do you get when you sign up? With Google Drive, 15 gigabytes. With Box, only 5. Now, albeit, I as a student have never broken a single gigabyte of data. I know several other students and even administrators who have over 20 gigabytes of data from this year alone. So initial space is very important to us. Additionally, while Box does allow you to connect with many different applications by third-party members, including Microsoft and Panopto or Canvas, it doesn't provide those resources directly to you for free, whereas Google Drive includes something that we call G Suite. G Suite includes 5 simple pieces of software: Docs, Slides, Sheets, Forms, and Drawings. Now, there are hundreds of connectable third-party apps to Google Drive. However, these are provided to you right then and there. You can use them anytime, and they're a great resource to have as a student. Next, we'll move on to Amazon Drive. Ironically named similarly, however, quite different. So, Amazon Drive has 2 separate pathways you can take. The one that I'm going to address comes along with an Amazon Prime account. Now, for students, this is roughly a $50 a year purchase. So, take into account your first initial tier costs you $50 a year for Amazon Drive, whereas Google Drive is, again, free for 15 gigabytes initially. So, what are the benefits of Amazon Drive? Unlike Google Drive, which is connected with Google Photos, a storage place for your digital media images and video files, Amazon Drive does in fact allow you unlimited original file source uploads for photos, which is different. Google Photos takes a high quality approach, which turns your photo into a JPEG image, which is pretty low loss considering the compression, which saves them space and you space. However, additionally, Amazon Drive doesn't have any connectable apps. It doesn't have any sort of suite that allows you to create documents and files. It's simply a place for storage. And you only get 5 gigabytes initially to store all of your information, which, as you can see, three times less than Google Drive. Additionally, with Google Drive, devices. And it's as simple as going into your settings and say, back it up every 6 months. Amazon Drive, you have to physically go in and say, I want to back up my device to this account. I want all these files backed up. So it's a little bit of a longer process, more manual and difficult. Finally, we'll address iCloud for all of our Apple users out there. Although, don't worry, if you're not an Apple user, you can still use iCloud on a PC. However, as you can see from my list, iCloud, again, has very limited resources. They don't allow any sort of suite for editing, creating files, and unlike Google Drive, which has Google Photos to allow you high-quality, free uploads, they take your storage away with anything you upload. And they upload quite a bit, and they'll automatically upload if you're an Apple user. They don't simply allow you to choose what to upload, which makes it difficult for managing your cloud storage space. So, finally, why Google Drive? I've compared to several different companies and softwares, and you've got a little bit of an insight into Google Drive, but there's some more to it. So, the biggest aspect of Google Drive that makes it so unique, so marketable, and so wonderful for students is you don't just get Google Drive, you get a Google account. And what a Google account does is opens up resources that are free, phenomenal, and accessible everywhere. Whether you're an Android user or an Apple user, whether you use PC or Mac, you can access Google's applications from any web browser around. This includes things like Drive and Google Photos, which you can also download locally, which is a great feature to have if you're working offline. Additionally, you can get software like the Nik Collection, which is a complete, full suite of photo editing software that is considered to be right below Adobe Photoshop. You get things like Keep, which allows you to take notes and create lists on demand. Google Assistant, if you're an Android user, which will talk to you, even play games with you, answer questions you have, create search results, give you the weather. There are a million things that Google can do for you and with you. And that's why Google Drive is so great for students. We are in such demand for tools and resources because if something can make our job easier, we're in love with it. Yeah. I can access this document from my home desktop, and then I can run into the Johnson Printer Lab and use their paper and their ink to print my document, right? So we want something accessible. We want something easy. And biggest, we want something free. And that's what Google Drive is. It's as simple as signing up, putting your name down, picking an email username, putting in a password. That's all you have to do. It's straight and simple. And, as I mentioned before, soon your St. Edward's account will be linked to a Google account. No longer will you be accessing Zimbra with the 2005 UI and the calendar system that doesn't allow you to change events into different colors and invite people with ease. Now you're going to have access to Google Inbox, which will organize your emails into sections, which will allow you to say, hey, I don't want to look at this right now, bring it up later. You can access Calendar, where you can invite people to events and they can approve it. You can even look at their schedule to determine whether they're free or not, whether they have something already booked. So finally, your Google account will allow you access to dozens of software and services. It is easy, accessible, affordable, and as you can see, you're already around students who love Google, who love Google Drive, who use Google Drive. How many of you have a Google account? All of you. All of you already have a Google account. All of you have access to Drive. It's that simple. So, today, I do have a form here for everyone it's a quick questionnaire that OIT is providing to determine whether students want Drive or not. So the unfortunate truth is Google Drive does not meet the certifications required for staff and faculty to use it. However, it is usable for students. And so what we're asking you to do is to give your 2 cents and let us know if you really desire it. If you truly want Drive, please fill out this form and let us know what you think. Thank you everyone for coming out today and listening to this presentation. I greatly appreciate your ears and your feedback. Thank you very much. Again, my name is Liam, and this is Google Drive.